2, 1, go! Welcome back to another day of living in a new house. I have just gone and released episode number 137. And in that I've explained where I've been gone for the last couple of weeks and why we haven't posted too much. So hopefully by the point you're watching this vlog, normal schedule has been resumed, everything is back to normal and we are running round tickety-boo. There's been quite a few missing vlogs over that time. I think there was about 3, maybe 4, which hopefully you would have watched by now because they should have been released. But there's some other bits we need to update you on. So excuse me, the intro to this vlog is going to be a little bit long-winded and maybe a little bit jump around as I try and remember everything that we've done that we need to update you on. Just so you get an idea of where we're at, and then we can get back to doing some stuff on the house. Item number 1 that I'm going to update you on then, and I'm going to try and work in a semi-chronological order, is hopefully by now you've seen in one of the previous vlogs, we got a little bit distracted on doing things inside the house and we've moved outside and started working on a vegetable plot. Now in that vlog I said that we're going to try and make it a zero cost project, and then pretty much straight after that I ended up on Facebook Marketplace looking at sleepers. I looked at online properly on sleepers. Now, if you go to like B&Q or Wix or places like that, sleepers, it'll set you back about 40 to 50 pounds. And to make the size of the planters we want, we need 3 per sleepers. I was not about to go and drop 300 pounds on sleepers. So yeah, I hopped onto the Facebook Marketplace for like the first time in my life. I've never actually used Facebook Marketplace until that point. Went online and found there was people selling some reclaimed sleepers, some reused ones. They were going about 20, 15, 20 odd quid, which I thought, yeah, that's better, but it's still not too good. And more to the point, you've got to pay for delivery for half this stuff as well, and it's miles away, and yeah, you end up spending like 100 quid on delivery, so it's just not worth it. And unfortunately, I found a fencing company not far from where we live that were advertising sleepers for free, that they were trying to get out of their yard. So I contacted the individual and they're like, oh, they're not actually free, they're like 10 quid a sleeper. But that actually was a pretty good price. They were in decent nick, so we actually shot over there and picked up some sleepers, which I'll go outside and show you in a second, but it's dark, so I've got to get my torch out to do it. And yeah, we managed to squeeze them in the car. I'll show you a photo of now. So yeah, that's about 200 kilos worth of sleepers slammed in the back of my car, which worked quite well. Drove it a few miles down the road and we've managed to get them here. So I'll go show you those outside now. So yeah, welcome to the storage yard. We have, these have it's cracked slightly in the weather a little bit, but it's not too bad. I mean, there's a couple of rough edges. If you look down there, there's like a bit of a sort of mold and mildew on the bottom edge just because they've just been storing them in the yard for so long, hence why they were letting them go. But actually, for what it was, for 60 quid, with each one of those costing less than one of the floorboards that I paid for to go in the house, we have 6 very nice sleepers, which we'll use to make our veggie plots over there. So what we'll do is when we get to it, on one of the vlogs in a few days, we'll chop those in half, we'll build a couple of beds out of them, screw them together, and then, we've got to work out the soil situation then. Which means I'm probably going to go spend a load of money on compost, which, yeah, I'll go back in the house and then I'll update you on that. The compost situation then. So, speaking with my sister, who also got very carried away with vegetable growing last year, poor old my brother-in-law ended up running backwards and forwards to the garden centre to pick up bags and bags and bags of compost and bags and bags and bags of manure to fill their beds, which are smaller than mine. So I'm going to try and learn from their added investment. I wouldn't say it was a mistake, it just took more time, it was all. And I think what we're going to do is order like a big 1 ton bag of compost to fill that, which we need to probably get doing in the next sort of week or two because it's nearly plant out season, which also means I need to get that garden done. So it's going to be a big distraction for a little while. The reason why we need to get it done is because we may have already started doing the seed planting. We have in here cauliflowers, which you can see have already started sprouting and growing. I'll update you. I'll update you now. So my sister's also shown me a gardening app, which I'll show you a screenshot of here. And that's the plan for the garden. And in that plan, there is room for 4 cauliflowers. In those pots, there's already 5 growing, so one of those is going to have to die because we haven't got space for it now. So we'll pick the strongest ones and get those in. We've also got onions in there, but it also does mean we now have a strict deadline on getting those garden beds ready. So probably this weekend coming up. Hopefully we get a good stretch of weather. We got to go out, finish sifting up the rest of that garden, start digging it up, get the beds made and down, lay a bit of a path, and then get the soil in so we can hopefully start doing some planting outside. So that's going to be all steam go ahead. But that updates on the garden situation. On to the next topic. So topic number 2 then, and kind of carrying on from the garden theme. So you may have heard in episode 137, I went over and was clearing out my grandparents' place. And some items have followed me home that are going to be helpful. So first of all, we actually have weed membrane. That is fantastic, and a saw, because you wanted to chop down the bush in the garden. So we have a saw to do that. We also have some weed membrane, so fantastic for us because we haven't got to go purchase it. So where I go and lay a bit of a gravel pathway between the two sleepers, I don't need any now. We've got some, which is fantastic. We've also got a new table which has come out. So the old saw box has now finally reached its retirement. We may put the saw back in it, but it's over there. And we now have a new table which actually fits the theme of the house we're doing with all the wood and everything else down here quite nicely. So yeah, we now have a new table. There are some other bits that's followed us home which will be useful over the time period, but I'm not going to update you on all of those things because it's just bits like tarpaulins and door stops and stuff like that. But yeah, a few helpful things have arrived in the house. And speaking of house, we move on to topic number 3. And topic number 3 is, while I've been gone, Elizabeth has been busy. I am going to hand over to her in some, hopefully, chronological ordered vlog clips, which I haven't seen yet, to explain the work she has done. So, over to you, Elizabeth.
So I wouldn't say that was my best work. I tried to get as many of the dents as possible, but he's gonna have to come and sand this because this is super rough. And then like all of this. So I think once he sands it, we'll probably go over it again and fill some more, but I did a bit there. And then I just did a little bit on this wall as well. And then I'm gonna wait a little bit longer before I do this wall because it's still drying. So yeah, and then I think the next thing I might do is try to organize this room and then move the junk from this room into the main room so that we can tear down that ceiling and steam the paint off. Done. Everything is moved in. I don't know how happy Ryan's gonna be because I think his plan was when we come back, or when he comes back, we would paint this room or work on it and try to get in there. But I think I really want to get this roof off and get it steamed so we can just get this one done with, and then we can work on plastering the room we're currently in. Don't think I'm gonna move. I might move them tomorrow, like just in the hallway while I'm working, but honestly can't be bothered. So yeah, I'm pretty proud of myself. I definitely pulled a few muscles, but oh well. Ooh. I'm in my house coat, so I'm not actually ready to do this right now. But yeah, get that all off and then move everything back in. Oh boy. So still in my house coat. Oh my god, almost fell over. I wasn't planning on doing this, but I took a little piece off, and then as you can see, like, this is just, I was also planning on putting dust sheets down and moving that, but I'm a little scared that if I leave it like this, it's gonna fall in the middle of the night and scare the ever-living crap out of me. So I'm just gonna go for it. I'm just gonna get rid of it. I don't know what this is. but it's coming off. Almost done. This actually seems like it's ever moved. It's not stuck. Oh boy. Done. Except for that piece. That piece is on there solidly. Overall, absolutely terrifying experience. I'm pretty sure I almost got knocked out by one of those pieces. But once I started, I literally couldn't stop because they were like hanging. And I was just like, it's gonna fall at like 2 in the morning and scare the crap out of me. So at least that's done with now. I can clean this up and probably move everything back into this room because this looks like Artex. I think that's what it's called. And that is hell to get off. And I actually don't know how that's gonna come off. So there's kind of no point in me doing this, but oh well. Okay, all clean. That is all off except for this part. I think Ryan taped up there and so it's pretty stuck. And I don't want to remove the tape, so I'll just leave that. Yeah, so the plan was I would take the plaster off and then I'd steam the ceiling, but because I assumed the paint or the ceiling would be the paint that was in the main bedroom, not this like Artex horrible stuff. But this is not gonna come off easy, and I actually don't know how we're gonna get it off. So I'm gonna have to leave that, which means I kind of did this for absolutely no reason, and now I have to go and move all of this back into that bedroom. Pretty much back to how it was before. We're still using all of this, so there's no point taking it out. And this is back to how it was before. You wouldn't know that I went in and moved everything.
Well, thanks for destroying my ceiling, Elizabeth. I very much appreciate it. You got us a little bit further across the mark there. She's moved all the stuff back into that office as well, so we can go carry on work in the front room. So that was a good piece of progress there. Though one minor hiccup, she may have put all my toolboxes in the very back corner of the room behind all the stuff, so I may have to reorganise the stuff in the room so I can get access to my boxes. Final topic to update you on is actually a gift from my mother. So she's got tickets to like a trade like craft show over at the NEC. It's quite a good event that you go around, you can see all like the latest stuff to do with craft and events and 3D printers and etc etc etc. And when you get towards the end of those days, they start like giving out stuff as freebies because they don't want to take it away and everything. And one of the items she actually reclaimed was some coat hangers. Well, a coat hook thing, which again fits our sort of black and wood theme we're going to have going on with inside of the house. The reason why this is so good is if I go to go out of our door here, you'll see door doesn't open properly because we currently have coats hanging on the back of the door here. So hopefully in the next couple of days, I'll put that on that wall and we'll be able to hang the coats there, and we'll actually be able to escape the house for once. So that's fantastic. I think then that gets us pretty much back up to date with everything in terms of where we've got. So it's time for us to start doing some progress. The plan of attack for us now is to get back in that front bedroom poster work Elizabeth's been doing with all the fillering on the wall, which I didn't actually mention in that clip. So not only did she destroy the ceiling, she's filled the wall as well. Get that back all sanded down, do a bit more filling on the ceiling so that's ready to go, and then crack on with some more painting. Hopefully, fingers crossed, and no more plaster falls off of anything. So let's hand over now to actually time-lapse doing some work, Ryan, and get back into the swing of things. So a couple of things to go through. One, apparently I've completely forgotten how to do the vlogs I do because I decided to stop that time-lapse part way through. So what you won't have seen is I also have gone along this bottom edge and where there was just over spills of plaster, I've cut out all the excess junk just so that it's not sitting on top of the floorboards. I also didn't time-lapse me tidying up, putting the dust door up or anything else like that, but we are there. We have sanded down the worst of the walls now, wiped the dust off the walls. And yeah, made good progress. I also realised I'm an idiot sandwich, so depending on how I decide to edit this vlog, you may or may not have seen a segment about the sleepers in the garden. And I was like, oh, I'll record this segment because I haven't done anything about those said sleepers, or mentioned it. And I was just looking back through the footage on my phone, and it turns out I did a whole segment on it on one of those. Who knew? So yeah, you might not have seen that segment, but anyway, you've had an update on sleepers, or you've not had an update sleepers, depending on how editing Ryan edits this. So yeah, I'm going to stop there in terms of noisy bits at the moment, but there is another job I want to get on with that's nice and quiet as we're getting later on into the night, and that is, there's still little bits of just odd marks, so for example like here and here, and just small patches that have just sort of revealed themselves. Now we've got the first couple of layers of paint on like the roof and some of these walls, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix myself up another batch of just small amount of filler, and we're going to go around and just patch all these holes. The idea being is that if I get all these patched up tonight, the filler can be drying and setting off and doing what it needs to do. I can give it a light sand tomorrow, just the areas that we have done the fillering on. And then, yeah, tomorrow we should be good to actually just get the next layers of paint on. So we'll come in, we'll obviously do the water and whatever mix of paint on here to get that on a base coat and sealed on the walls. And then we should be good to actually get the roof fully painted, walls, at least these walls fully painted. These ones will have to hang fire on just until we're ready to do it, because I've been drying for about 9 days now, I think it is. I kind of want to leave them 3 or 4 weeks, that sort of time range, and about another week or so we'll be ready to sand those down as well. But I don't think I need sanding as much because the finish is much, much better with the new technique. I mean, look at this is fantastic, I love it. But we should be in a place then that we've got a fully painted and fully decorated room. And hopefully I'll feel better tomorrow when we've actually got definitely the roof painted and it's looking more finished, and this wall. So we're going to crack on with some fillering and see how far we get before we decide to get to bed. Have I gone a bit OTT with the filler? Yeah, probably a little bit, but I've filled in every little nook and cranny and little dot I can find. So tomorrow what we'll do when that's dried off, give it a light sand over, make sure there's no lumps and bumps on the wall. He says nothing to lump and bump off the wall. And then we are good to paint. At least this section, and this section. But it'll be nice to get back in, because at least as this corner's done, I can bring my desk up and at least I've got a bit of an office area, which would be nice as well. But anyway, that is going to leave it there today. I am glad to be back. I am glad to be making progress again. And yeah, hopefully we'll keep the momentum going over the next few weeks and make some solid progress. But anyway, just got to say thank you very much for watching. Happy hunting, and we'll catch you all in tomorrow's vlog.